Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to round six BBL Supercoach Central podcast. You're stuck with me hosting today, unfortunately, because Brady's not available. However, I have got Timmy with me. Welcome, Timmy. How are you?
Yeah, very well, mate. How are you? It's a lovely day up here in beautiful sunny Queensland. It's sunny for a change. There's a nice breeze on top of the hill here, and the weather's fantastic. I've been out in the sun pretty much all day working on my boat.
It's just a balmy 38 degrees here at the moment, so it's a little bit a little bit hot, but it's good to see the sun's out in Brisbane for a change, especially with the game on there tonight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, However, the weather's not looking great for Sydney this week because after today, literally, there's a whole week of rain coming. So do be aware of loading up on Thunder players because obviously their second game is the game on the Wednesday against the Hurricanes. So just be aware of that. From what I've last heard, it's not too bad, but you just never know with Sydney. So it'll just come and go. So at one stage they were talking about, I don't know how many mils it was in the day, and then I saw another one today saying they reckon it could only be 10 mils, which could be the morning. So yeah. So anyway, we'll rip into it. How did you go anyway this week, Timmy? How would your round go?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. A lot better than a lot of other people. Look, 499. I think it was about 20 points behind you or something. Green Arrow up inside the 2K, so pretty happy with that. I think Dave's about 7 or 8 points in front of me, and I think I'm still about 40 or 50 points in front of you and Dan. And yeah, it's all pretty close. All pretty close.
She's very tight.
Mm.
It's very tight up there. I think we're all sort of between that, 1900 to 2500 mark, except for Brad, who's up there in around 600.
Mm.
Unfortunately, didn't have the best of rounds this one and did drop a few spots, but still travelling along nicely. And I know Dan had a massive round this week. I think he got close to 600 this week, and he's made massive moves the last couple of weeks. Couple of nice little pod plays there. He bought in Finn Allen last round, which paid off for him with 113 as well. So it was a weird round because that first game, as usual, bloody Heat and Sixers game got washed out again.
Mm.
Oh God, I think they have to dead set look at moving that venue because it just jinxed up there.
Mm.
I was literally screwed after that first game. Like, luckily, I'd only made one trade, and I had every single player on my bench was either a Sixers player or a Heat player. So,
Yeah, I wasn't much better off, mate. I think all my bench sleeps were, well, both of them. Yeah, yeah. I had Spencer Johnson and I had Curtis Patterson, and then I
yeah.
had Joel Davies in there as well. So yeah, very
But
helpful.
happy with it. 528. Ended up looping Conley like I know some of the other guys did as well.
Mm.
Moved up 450 spots to 23.25. So I'm going the right way. I haven't had I haven't had a red arrow yet, so I shouldn't talk too soon. But it's been green arrows every week, so can't really complain. As I said, it was just a very odd round where just players that we expected to go big just didn't, and a lot of people really struggled to score well this round. It was a tough round, being a single round, who to captain, all that sort of stuff like that. So it definitely wasn't the easiest round, but it was probably the round that you could have made up ground or lost ground, depending on who you brought in and your captains and stuff. So yeah, anyway, let's talk Thunder, Timmy. They're on the double this week, as we said. I've already got Wes Agar in my team. I traded him in last week when he had a negative break even. His negative break even's now gone to, I think it's around about the 168 mark.
It's
So
gone from one extreme to the other.
yeah, 159K, only scored 4 points last round. Obviously, it wasn't an ideal matchup against the Thunder. Sorry, not against the Thunder, against the Scorchers in Perth. I thought that pitch might have suited him, but unfortunately, he didn't do too well. Do you still think he's a good option for this round?
Oh, look, it's probably him or Lockie Ferguson be the pick of their bowlers, I suppose. I'm in much the same boat, mate. I picked up Billings and Agar, and both pretty much bombed out. They both had low break evens. So look, my plan was even worst case scenario. It was a 2 week play with the idea of get on two of them early and then maybe pick up another two this week. I don't think they're going. I mean, I know they're winning games, but they're sort of sharing the points around
Mm,
from week to week. So
yeah.
I don't think it's a double game week where you want to load up on like 6 or 7 of them. I think you're either going to come out way in front or you're going to come out way behind. So I don't think there's really. I don't think you could fill your side with Thunder players and come out trumps.
I don't think there's enough options to do probably more than three or four max anyway, Tim. Sam Billings is one you just spoke about, 162K. He's got a break even also really high at 162. Not a bad option, but I don't know. I'm just not. I mean, obviously we saw a little clash the other day where they've now lost Daniel Sam, so he won't play their double. I think he's out in concussion protocols for 12 days. Bancroft with a broken shoulder and a broken nose, so he's done for the season. Um, I mean, Lockie Ferguson's. I don't mind him as an option. He's okay. He's at 134K, good price. Also sitting around the 137 break even for him as well. And I think the other one that I'm pretty keen on, like probably most others are, is Dave Warner as well, Tim. Just looks good at the
Mm.
moment. Scoring some runs. Yeah, what's your thoughts on Warner?
Yeah, I think Warner's looking good, and as is Chris Green. I think the
Hmm.
pressure's just off Warner. Um, I guess it's if he flops, he flops. It's not like he's waiting or busting to get through this to get back to the Australian Test squad or anything like that. So I think there's a fair bit of pressure off Warner. Look, he's obviously getting on, but look, he's scoring runs at the moment, and yeah, hats off to him.
Yep, Chris Green, obviously, we'll talk about him. He's one of the highest players traded in for this round. Been in some good form. I think he got 113 or so last week. Had 145K, nice break even of 45. So I really like him as an option. I think he's a great option now. The other one we should talk about, which I can't believe we're talking about this bloke, because a couple of weeks ago he was just an absolute utter naff. And I don't think anyone wanted him in their team except for a bench loop, is Matt Gilks. Now, I think you could do a lot worse at 64K, break even at 27. Now, Constas has got to come back into that team, probably the second game of the double, but I think he'll come in for Nikaris, or however you want to pronounce his name. Like the poor old Thunder, they're that short on the squad at the moment that their assistant coach, Stan Christian, is actually named in the squad this week. They've got Tanvi Sang out as well on top of that. Jason Sang out, both injured as well. There's a couple other guys that they're missing. So I think batting three, I don't mind it.
Hmm. Yeah, it's certainly a left field option. He may not play both games, as you just said. So there's a sort of bit of a 50-50 one on that. But look, at 64K, it's you could wipe out some of the guys on your bench that aren't doing anything. And even if it is just a 1 week play, get some points and maybe make some cash. What's his BE? I can't imagine it's much.
It's not much. It's about 20 odd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you should be pretty
Yeah.
safe. You're certainly not going to lose money.
I've got some dead wood sitting on my bench that I'll be happy to trade out guys like Will Prestwidge from the Heat, Jack Wood from the Heat as well. I've still got Renshaw in my team. Like there's guys there that we can get rid
Hmm.
of, and I still think, as I said, once Constas comes back in that team, I still think that with Bancroft gone for the season, he should be a placeholder in that team now.
Yeah, you'd like to think so, mate.
Um, Anyone else from the Thunder that you like at all for this round? I don't know if there's any other sort of really
No,
options
I
for
think
Supercoach.
I think Green, Warner, and Ferguson are probably the three best.
Yeah. Moving on from the Thunder, another one that's probably pretty popular trading this week is Finn Allen from the Scorchers, Tim. Break even at -74, priced at 115K. I actually don't mind that. I'm actually tempted to bring him in. I don't want to load up too heavy on the Thunder this week. And I think it's quite an easy cash grab. Should make you a decent amount of money. What's your thoughts on him?
Yeah, look, I agree, mate. He's certainly on my radar. As much as I don't like picking bat only players, he's now hit two good scores in a row, and which is interesting because he obviously couldn't buy runs at the start of the season. He was averaging three ball ducks every game, so or thereabouts. So yeah, look, he's in form. just be aware that obviously he can have a low score as well. So keep an eye on that one.
I think given that it's the second game of the round, he's probably a good option for bench loop too.
Yep. Yeah,
To be
absolutely, mate.
honest with you, I don't know if I'd be starting him in my 11 unless I had to. Either bench loop or your flexi player maybe as well.
Hmm.
Um, what else should we talk about? So the Thunder
When you
have got
sort
the
of when
yep.
you sort of consider you could go something like Jamie Overton and one of your pocket change Brisbane Heat players like you were just mentioning, and you
Mm.
could probably trade in Chris Green and Finn Allen. So I mean it's a decent trade there.
Yeah, well, actually, Jamie Overton's an interesting one, right? I think it's around about 200K. He's got a massive break even of about 160. However, he won't lose any cash this week because he's not playing. I I'm going to try and hold him if I can, but if I need the cash, then I will move him on. But I think probably better off to prioritize guys like Doggett, and also Henry Thornton because they've got low break evens. I think Thornton's got a break even about 13. I'm not sure what Doggett's is, but I know obviously Overton
Minus 10.
200K. So
He's minus 10 is Doggett.
yeah, so you're probably better off to hold on to him, but you probably don't want to have any more than two strikers players on your bench as well. That's the thing. If something does go pear shaped and the second game gets washed out and you get caught out, you'll be in a hell of a trouble. So just be aware of that too. Yeah, as I said I'll probably only hang on to one of them, I reckon, because I don't have Doggett. So I'll probably just hang on to Thornton and I'll probably get rid of Overton. I've also got Lloyd Pope, who I was supposed to trade out last week, but didn't end up happening because of the washout and worked out well for me because he put out about 70 points anyway or something, I think it was. So
Yeah, I think in
happy
the
to have
end,
one team for another week. And he actually got me home in a couple of my head to head. So I've got to say
yeah.
I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I was keeping an eye on that. He was a pod between your team and my team, and
Mm.
he got you home in the end. It was I was in front until he took his second wicket, I think, and then it was all over.
I wasn't playing you anywhere there, was I?
No, 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 just keeping an eye
Okay. Yeah.
on our off the bench group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm.
No, it helped me beat the second placed overall winner from last year, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'm sure it's a shame we're not live because I'm sure Justin would have been on and said something. So, but that's fine. Um,
Take the wins when you can get them, mate.
all right. So we'll just quickly discuss the trade in and trade outs for this round. Uh, we'll get it open. So number one trade out is Jamie Overton. I think we're pretty much both agree on that. That if you need the cash, probably move him on, right?
Yeah.
Number two is Daniel Sams. Well, he's got to go. Obviously he'll miss the double. Henry Thornton, number three. Yes, if you need the cash, I would prefer to hold on to him. I'm pretty sure you're the same, Tim. I think he's a hold if you can, with
Hmm.
that low break even.
Yeah, the only hard part for me is I've got Thornton and Doggett down in my bowl, so
Mm,
I'm probably going to have to let one of them go.
yeah. Matt Short, number four. Darcy Short, number five. Baisley, number six. I mean, these are all fine. They're all on a buy. Zampa at number seven, who's just turned out to be a bit of a terrible
Oh.
buy for this year. I won't say I told you so at the start of the season, but anyway, I did say to avoid him. Bancroft at number eight, he's gone for the season. Doggett at nine, and Ashton Turner at number 10. Again with Doggett, I think if you can hold on to him, I would with that negative break even as well. I'm not sure why he's so highly traded out.
It's
So
people that have probably filled their team with strikers.
yeah. Trade-ins just quickly. Chris Green, well and truly at number one, nearly 9,000 traded in. Warner number two, Billings number three. Jacob Bethel is an interesting one at number four. I don't mind that.
Hmm.
Actually, he's starting to bowl as well and starting to hit some form.
Yeah,
I
he was
think at
everywhere.
118K, I think he's probably not the worst option. I think he leaves after this round or next round. I think it is. It's
Yeah.
either one. I think it's round eight. So you'll get a couple more games out of him. Phelan Allen, we've just spoken about already. Rutherford at number seven. I don't like that at all whatsoever. That's just makes no sense to me, Tim. I mean, he scored some runs that last game, but batting six and he bowled one over. And did you see the over he bowled? He was
Yeah,
absolutely woeful.
yeah, yeah. No,
I
that's
don't think
right.
you'll see him bowl another over.
No,
Um, number eight's Matt Gilks. We've already spoken about him. I think we both agree he's a good trade in. Sam Constas at number nine. I don't like that because I mean he's only going to play one game. If he does play the second game of the double, I mean I don't know if it's worth it. Is it?
maybe just because of his low break even. He's got a really low BE, doesn't he? Like a negative something.
He's at no, he's not 82 break even actually.
Really?
Yeah, yeah, he's at 82.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, the last one on the list makes absolutely zero sense, Tim. Mitch Owen at 150k with a break even of 22 with a double coming up next round. Why the hell? Why? Oh, they're trading him in. Sorry, that's trade ins. Don't mind
I was
me.
gonna
Just go back to the. I'll go back to
reading the
sleep.
wrong
No,
column, Roscoe.
sorry, I think that was trade out, trade
Not.
in. Yeah, it's good trading, I think, isn't it? I mean,
Mm.
you probably if you're going to do it, this is the week, right? I mean, you don't want to wait a week and he goes big in that game against the Thunder, and then you have to pay like 170, 180k for him. So I picked
No,
him
that's right.
up 3 weeks ago when he had a negative break even of about -70, and he's done a job for me, I've got to say.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with him. So
Yeah. Absolutely, mate. I've got him and Chris Jordan
yeah,
and Doran obviously ready for another loop.
yeah. Anyone else? Any other players that stands out to you at all for this round? Like, it doesn't have to be a Thunder player, but is there anyone that you can think of that might be a good trading for this round? I mean,
Well, I'll
obviously we've
be
got guys coming back from the test squad. We don't know yet who's going to be available. I mean, I think guys like Jai Richardson, I'm pretty sure he'll be named in their squad that gets named today for the game tomorrow night.
mm,
Sean Abbott, I'd imagine he probably will get a game for the Sixers game this week. And obviously Mitch Marsh is the other one too that could come in for the Scorchers as well. So some interesting ones there, Timmy. I don't know how many of these test players are going to come in this week. I'd imagine Cricket Australia is probably just going to turn around and go, I think we're just going to give them a rest for now. Maybe let them give them a few days to freshen up a bit and then maybe play the following round before they go to Sri Lanka just for a bit of practice.
yeah, that's right. Because I go to Sri Lanka in 9 days' time, I think.
Oh, I think it was 12 days yesterday, I think.
Oh, righto.
So they've still got a few days yet, but I don't know whether they have to assemble before they go somewhere for like some sort of camp or something. I'm sure Ben from Honeyball will be all over that one, so we'll have to check up on that one, and we'll keep you guys posted on our page as usual. So yeah,
Yep, absolutely, mate. The only other ones I'd be sort of interested in is guys that are coming back from injury. Look at like Nisa from the Brisbane. I nearly said Brisbane Broncos from Brisbane Heat.
yeah,
Um, he's a top bloke. I'm sure he can probably throw and kick a rugby league ball as well.
yeah.
So yeah, look, Michael Nisa would be one that I'd be pretty keen on also. Yeah, you just got to make your trades work. It'd be an absolute pod play, that's for sure.
I'm pretty
Um,
damn sure he's not very cheap either, Tim. I'm sure he's
no, he's
quite
about
expensive.
175k.
175k. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. Jeez.
yep. So it'd be
I
a
think. I think it's a risk.
mm,
It's a definitely a pod play, Tim. But the question is, given he hasn't played for so long, do they ease him back in and he only bowls a couple overs to start? You know, bats at number seven. I want to have a look at him first before I
mm,
do anything.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Um,
time for VCs and captains or trades. What are we doing?
Yeah. Well, what about you? What's your trades for this week? Because I'm back at work today, so I'm just all over the place. I haven't had a chance to look at anything yet. I think I've got a bit of an idea of who I'm going to trade in, but what are you looking at for this week?
Yeah, for me, it probably Overton out. Um, and I guess I'll have to drop one of the other bowlers, one of the other strikers bowlers. So Thornton or Doggett. Not really sure on that one just yet. Look, Thornton's been playing well for most of the series, whereas Doggett's been a little bit up and down. Well, he had one good game and then a down game. So Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. He probably would have bowled an extra over last night, but I believe he hurt his shoulder banging into the board when he dived for a dive to chase
Okay.
some runs. So he did come back and bowled one over, I think, but they gave him about sort of 3 overs rest after he hurt himself before they gave him an over. So he got 3 overs in the end, but got carted all over the place. I don't think he was
Thank
quite
goodness he got a
100%.
wicket because it would have looked pretty ordinary without that wicket because he would have only scored about 7 points or 6
Yeah,
points.
yeah, yeah.
So,
So. But oh, excuse me. Um, yeah. So look, I'd probably overturn one of the strikers, bowlers, and oh, dare I say it, probably flick, maybe even Curtis Patterson, just flick him and look at one of the cheaper options coming in. But yeah, that's probably where I'm at. I mean, if you sell Jamie Overton, there's 200K.
mm.
It's pretty easy to add to that and pick up 250K guys pretty quick. You look at Chris Green and Davey Warner. It's hard to go past those two guys, and probably Lockie Ferguson if I go for a third.
Yeah, I'm probably looking at, I'd say Lloyd Pope out, Overton out. I'm not sure who else at this stage yet. I'll probably bugger off one of my Nuffy cheapies because I don't really need to have all of them. And I'll probably potentially bring in Matt Gilks maybe. I do like Warner too, and I'm pretty keen on Chris Green, but I don't know if I want to have fourth under, so I'll have to make a decision on what I'm going to do there. And the other thing is too, do you just play them all on the field, or do you possibly look at bench looping one of them? I think where's Agar maybe is a bench loop. I'm not sure, but and then for VC and C, well, I think the VC is probably going to have to be either Warner or Chris Green. I think is probably your two best options.
Hmm.
Captaincy, well, I don't mind. I'm actually don't mind Jai Richardson this week either. Possibly looking at trading him in or Sean Abbott as well as your captain. But what about you, Tim? Who are you looking at to VC this round?
Yeah, look, it'll be if I go Warner and or Green, it'll be one of those guys as the VC, and I'm actually looking at Jason Behrendorff as captain. So yeah, let's wait and see.
I actually don't mind that, to be honest with you. It's not a bad little shout out that one. So yeah. All right. Well, I think that's about it for this week. I think we've pretty much sort of covered everything up for this round, at least anyway. This round does finish up on Thursday, so we will be back on Friday in the afternoon at some stage to do a pod for round seven. Until then, good luck for the round, everyone, and we'll speak to you on Friday.
Yeah, look, I'm away for a few days, Thursday to Monday, so I probably won't make the Friday pod, but I'll be ready to go for the next round. So
All right.
heading up to Gladstone. My daughter just turned 21 today, and I've got a niece who's getting married up there on the weekend as well. So go and spend some time with the rest of the family.
All right. Till until Friday, have a good round, everyone, and good luck.
Stay safe, be good.